Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. Today I wanted to talk with you guys about vaccine passports. Are they a good thing, or is it just potentially another little stunt to gain more power by governments of the world? Before we go ahead and hop into this though, let's cue intro. Since 2020, vaccine passports or smart health cards and chips have been becoming more of a thing in countries across the world to travel internationally. Now, different countries equals different standards on proof of vaccination status and other things, which leads to a bunch of issues generally and will in certain ways. Will a centralized power promoting group or organization step in? NIH maybe? Or how about the World Health Organization? Maybe one of those will. Oh man, a group with very questionable funding and relationships with many government officials of the world are trying to create a centralized global concentration of power? There's no cause for concern there. Not one bit. It's not like, that's ever been a problem in history before or anything. It didn't happen with, monarchies, Hitler, Mussolini, etc. at all. No, not one bit. There are even chip implants implemented with vaccine passports. It's not like anybody is saying that would never be a thing at all, right? Nah, it would never be a thing. Co-founder of Vaccination Credential Institute, or VCI, Brian Anderson told Politico, WHO plans to create a trust framework so that the vax passports can be used worldwide with verification of vaccine card/chip. What's that? A concentration of power. Now, VCI is the group that created the smart health cards, which ironically enough has been adopted across the United States as the factory default for vaccination standards. These passports have been rolling out pretty quietly over the past few years, especially recently. In fact, they actually were at one point called green passports, and people are like, oh no, those will never pass through. Meanwhile, several states across the US have adopted it. Ironically enough, too, a lot of the states that have done it are in the top 5 for the most corrupt states across the United States. People have been denying that governments would approve this, saying things like, oh, they would never mandate things like these. Meanwhile, what's happening now across several U.S. states? I don't know. No, you're right. You guys are right. The government would never do things like that. Now even Republican or red states that have rejected this idea for several years are starting to approve of it now. It's almost like, it doesn't really matter what side that they're on. There's corruption everywhere or something. I don't know. Ironic, right? It's kind of almost like that it's showing you that it really doesn't matter what side these career politicians are on. That both of them have systemic corruption severely. And, they really only care about helping out their buddies in business or something. I don't know. Now, obviously, if you've been following money trails, paper trails, etc., it should come as no surprise to you that these governments are doing it, and it doesn't really matter what political side they're on, that there's corruption on every side, especially here in the U.S. on both of our two parties. Big shocker, right? Corruption it doesn't exist, not at all in our flawed two-party system, which never really gets anything done. Oops, I might be deemed a threat to the landscape for saying that one, especially, if I start to gain a decent amount of traction. Even as the Omicron variant loosens its grip on the world, destinations continue to require travelers to show proof of vaccination. And increasingly, a paper CDC vaccination card is not cutting it. Shocker there. Now it doesn't even matter if you have a paper card that actually shows proof of vaccination. It has to be a digital one. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe they're trying to, control something? While the United States government has not issued a federal digital vaccine pass, a national standard has nevertheless emerged. To date, 21 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico offer accessibility to the Smart Health Card, a verifiable digital proof of vaccination developed through the Vaccination Credential Initiative, or VCI, a global coalition of public and private stakeholders including Microsoft, Salesforce, Oracle, the Mayo Clinic, and other health and tech heavyweights.
Wow.
A lot of these, big tech giants and other business giants that have been proven to have forms of corruption in them are funding this stuff very heavily, especially Microsoft, which, oh yeah, people are saying that Bill Gates would never do that. Oh, what is he supporting here? It's just not in the vaccine. And very soon, at least 4 more states will be rolling out access to smart health cards. In quotes, we've seen a notable uptick in states that have officially launched public portals where individuals can get verifiable vaccination credentials in the form of smart health cards with a QR code, says Dr. Brian Anderson, co-founder of the BCI and chief digital health physician at MITRE. All right, so take a look at this map here. According to this map, some of the states that are already involved are actually, ironically enough, some of the most corrupt states. Bit of a coincidence there, don't you think? States like Illinois, New York, Jersey, Louisiana, even California, which has been known to have some really fucking corrupt politicians. It's just a coincidence, right? Now, from my research over the past few years on the most corrupt states, from reading articles like the one I have here from the Washington Post and others, and as of 2021, this Washington Post article said that the most corrupt states were New York, Illinois, Alabama, New York, and New Jersey. Now, on a couple of other ones, California was also on that list too for quite a while, and it's pretty sure it's still in the top 10. I could be wrong on that one, but either way, it still had a lot of corrupt governors. That's just a little too coincidental, don't you think? Which, ironically enough, I actually don't believe in coincidences. You know why? Because the word coincidence comes from the word coincide, which means that they're interwoven together, So there are no coincidences. People use the word coincidence to describe things that they don't really understand. Oh, why is the sky blue? If we didn't know that, it'd be, oh, it's just coincidence that it's blue. Or, oh, why was this person here at the same time I was here? Oh, it's just coincidence. Now, with all of these vaccination passports being rolled out, and the fact of the matter, you can't even use paper ones now half the time with them, which are authorized by the CDC or were made by them, don't you think that's a little fucked up and, again, too coincidental? Now, with these things being so widely accepted and slowly being enforced, meanwhile not really being talked about either because COVID's miraculously disappeared off the face of the earth since, World War III started over in Ukraine and everything. Oh, man, it just magically disappears all of a sudden. It's a little coincidental, don't you think? And, since it's so widely accepted now, eventually, where's your passport? Where's your COVID passport? You don't have one? Oh, sorry, can't go anywhere. Can't do that. Can't do this. Can't go into this restaurant now, because you don't have this one thing or this form of identification. Oh man, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're not like us. You don't have the jab, so that means that you're the biggest piece of shit and you can't go anywhere or do anything. Kind of eerily similar to what was done to the Jews and everything like that, or African Americans during the Jim Crow laws, isn't it? It's in federal law that you can't sit there and force somebody or coerce them into getting a experimental vaccine or participating in any medical procedures which they don't want to. Like, that's fucked up. That's literally what they did to people in Nuremberg. Like, The fact that people don't realize is so frustrating. It's just so stupid. I'll say this again, like I've told many other people, in Illinois' state law, the Health and Conscience Act, you can't force somebody to participate in any health procedures they don't want if it violates their religious, spiritual beliefs, etc. You know, it's fucked up if you do that. And that includes wearing the face masks, you know, making people get a vaccination, getting tests done, everything like that. You can't force somebody to do that. It's unconstitutional, for one. Two, it's also against Illinois state law and the Nuremberg Code, which is international law. Mind you, there are great ways to go about situations like these. However, you can't sit here and force your beliefs on other people. Like, a lot of people are, oh, I'm so pro-choice, but comes to this jab, they're like, oh, you get the jab, or you're the Antichrist, or you're the biggest piece of shit alive. They sit there and fucking slander them, insult them, make fun of them, etc. Essentially bullying them. That's really fucked up if you're so pro-choice, isn't it? If you look at a lot of these money and paper trails that are out there around this whole COVID-19 issue, you'll see that there's actually a lot of stuff being covered up and privatized. A lot of this stuff has been used to make profit. Hence why, you know, a lot of these big businesses have skyrocketed in fucking profits. Meanwhile, a lot of small businesses or medium-sized ones, you know, have just plummeted, gone bankrupt, been screwed over, etc., etc. It's kind of like, you know, how Bill Gates sat there and said, hey, Oxford University, if you guys don't, you know, render all your vaccination data for COVID and everything, you know, on that over to AstraZeneca and make it a private license instead of the open one that you were having, and make it a closed license instead of, you know, an open one like you have it, we're going to take away all that money that we gave you through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's blackmail, isn't it? Why would Bill Gates want to make it private? Could it be maybe for money? Then, you know, Big Pharma obviously skyrocketed from this, which in the midst of a pandemic, you know, you'd think that they would not care about profits, and they shouldn't, because it's fucked up if they do. If it's really as bad as they were all proclaiming it was, they wouldn't care about the profits. They care about getting us all back to normal life, as shitty as it was. And also, another thing, where's Anthony Fauci gone? It's like he's, I don't know, magically gone. Disappeared. But honestly, we can't sit here and use these things in the way that they're starting to be used. Now, if we keep trusting a lot of these corrupt government officials of the world and their big business buddies with the substantial amount of evidence that proves how corrupt they are and how much they just, you know, do the things they do for profits instead of, you know, actually helping people and caring about the consumers, which is all they think of you as generally, or livestock. It's gonna get to a really fucked up part in history. I don't think we can really sit here and ignore or just be complacent with the fact of the matter that a lot of these big businesses that have a lot of evidence stacked against them and that proves that they are involved with the systemic corruption that has plagued the world for quite a while now are trying to, you know, allocate this power and centralize it so they can have more control over us human beings and spread their influence, you know, in a way of like a form of colonialism to the point where they have all the power. Meanwhile, all the rest of us, the, you know, working class and like the average everyday Joes have nothing and will be happy about it. Allocation of power to one centralized group, organization, or individual in general throughout history has proven that corruption will thrive in it, and it will just completely fuck over anybody who is not within that group or questions it, which is, I don't know, group authoritarianism. We simply cannot ignore that this stuff is going on anymore, you guys, and we need to form different systems to replace the old broken ones that are currently in place. Now, again, if this doesn't go checked, eventually it's going to lead to the allocation of power into a select few or the 1% population of the world instead of the many, us, you know? And at that point, we'll own nothing and be happy. Isn't that fucked up? The fact of the matter, that's becoming more and more of reality. If you guys don't want that to happen, then you need to be a part of activism and actually go change things and help to create new systems. Otherwise, we're going to get to that point and we're just going to be zombies and slaves to a system which doesn't give a shit about us, kind of like things in the Matrix or the Hunger Games, etc., etc. But that's enough about what I think, though, mates. What do you guys think? My beloved members of my tribe, new viewers, new fans, etc. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what your guys' input is on this and how you feel about it. On a positive note, we're actually at 81 subscribers now, and thank you to all you badass motherfuckers that are part of this tribe now, and to any fans watching. I do appreciate you guys very much, and it means a lot to me whenever you do this. It's starting to warm up now over here, so I will more than likely be starting to switch over to my survival channel again as well too, off and on. So every other week I'll be uploading to this channel, and then every week that I don't hear, I'll be going to that survival channel, you know. So feel free to check that out if you guys want. It's just ZN Survival Tips. I will leave a link in the description down below. If you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do this, and it helps show me what you're enjoying. In addition to, helping us get further up in that YouTube algorithm and helping to put a little bit more of these hidden truths out there, helping people to realize that they're not as crazy as the mainstream or the world makes them seem. It's okay to question things and, be an independent mind. It's a beautiful thing. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and give this one a look, or look at this playlist here. As usual, though, my dudes, until next time, please don't forget to, live long and prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I'll see you guys on the flip side.